So what we did is we brought all of our folks together, our developers and programmers, our creative people, everyone in the company, and we said, okay, how do we get our arms around what do schools really, really need, and can we deliver it to them in a cost-effective way that makes it approachable and affordable for them and feasible for us to do it. This doesn't have to be our core business. We have a core business. This needs to be something we need to do to get it in the hands of the people that probably matter the most. What's important is what we call intelligent action. And intelligent action is having that powerful knowledge, the knowledge that comes from a wedding between information and technology, and being able to use that information in a very, very intelligent, actionable way. And each one of those colored sections represents a different area at which you can attach information. So if I were to float over one of those areas, I'll get the name of the area, if it's a classroom, I'll get the room number of the classroom, the purpose of the classroom, whatever it may be. It's powerful enough to give people access to floor plans during an emergency, but more importantly, if I were to take an area in this floor plan, if I were to select it, the first thing it's going to do is open up a window and give me access to whatever information I have chosen to store regarding that room. So in this particular instance, in this room, we have 3 photographs stored of the room. You might ask, what's the importance of having a photograph of a room stored into a floor plan? Well, if you're using it in an emergency, it's a way of finding out what is the configuration of the room without the emergency happening. Are there any immovable objects that need to be understood when first responders enter? If there's an area in a room that's innately a shelter-in-place location, it's important for first responders to know where that is. If I were to select hazardous material, the first thing it does is it lights up areas in the floor plan where hazardous material exists. Very similar to the document section I showed you before. Given that this is hazardous material, if I select that hazardous material and open up the file associated with that area, I'm looking at the material safety data sheet instantaneously regarding the hazardous material in that specific room.
This is going to greatly enhance and make our training for these incidents more realistic without any other cost. We'll be able to access the actual information we'd be accessing in an emergency. And if you could picture a school district where an incident was happening and multiple first responders with their mobile computers responding and getting real-time information relayed in their ear from a dispatcher, but then as they're setting up to assault or respond to the incident, they're all going to have access to the exact same information that we know is current and up to date instantly. There's a lot of things that you do for school security and incident management that is, to be honest, just a little bit of window dressing. And then there's those few things that can make a real difference, and we believe that this is one of the things that can make a real difference in how we train, how we respond, and how quickly we can get the job done.
I think the best part of it, in my opinion, is you have your crisis management plan visually for everybody to get it out to first responders quickly. The diagrams, we were fortunate because we're a new building and we were able to have our digital plans easily accessible with our crisis management plan, so it all seemed to seamlessly mesh together in a quick and easy process. Instead of us having these binders we had to keep in classrooms, now we have access to it anywhere. So if we have a power outage in our part of town, we can go use our cell phones, use our iPads, connect to networks, and we have access to it 24/7. And I think that's the other critical part to this, is there's a lot of times in crisis management or issues that evolve, such as a power outage like that, you can go in there and look inside that and see what parts of the building are affected, and the more information, the better for responders. In the past, from what I've heard from my experiences and working at it in higher education in K through 12, is many times first responders don't know the people that are in the building. And I think the pictures are a critical part to this, because they'll be able to put a face with a name and see, okay, that's our teacher, she has her class, good, we don't have to worry about that classroom. So there's going to be a lot of information being exchanged, and it will save them from having to use paper copies. And it's real time, it's updated 24/7. And I mean, it's just incredible that it's the most accurate information getting in the hands of first responders at that time.